another tangent, which we've just, or effectively dodged a bullet, disappearing down another wormhole or black hole, whatever you want to call it. But we're coming now to the last 5 to 10 minutes of this splendid conversation. This is almost like the restaurant at the end of the universe, and for everybody who's not aware of that, that's actually a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy reference, which everybody should read that book at some point in their particular life, where all these great minds have come together. You've all got your great tech, you know, Jamie with his armor, Mason with the new protective coatings and gloves, Sarah with our VAO engines, etc. And you're all passionate enthusiasts for that. Excellent stuff. Looking outside of that, what piece of tech, what piece of idea do you really think is cool and it will make a very significant impact on the future of space? Oh, that's stubborn good, isn't it? Come on, think outside your bubbles, guys. What other tech is cool?
Wormholes are cool, Bruce. There's no two ways about it. I don't know if you've ever seen Farscape, but that is a show just driven entirely around one guy who manages to solve wormholes. And then like 6 seasons of everybody in the universe being like, I want what's in his head. But I mean, there was a book I got sent a wee while ago called A Study on Absurdly Benign Wormholes, I think is its title. But it talks about like, how realistic is this? How close are we to even understanding the physics that would be required to blink from between 2 points, just connect these? And it's sort of a tongue-in-cheek thing, but like, that would be cool. In terms of a little bit more realistic, though, there's it's called the quantized inertia drive, and that's something that's up on a satellite from Rogue Space Systems Corporation. Rogue anyway, US firm that are looking at ISAM and also putting up satellites to host payloads. To host experiments. So one of their experimental payloads is this quantized inertia drive that's being put forward by a physicist called Mike McCulloch, and I think he is British. And if you have a look at him on LinkedIn, he's kind of pushing this angle of this QI drive is going to challenge certain elements of physics and potentially redefine other elements of physics. The idea of it is that it is able to generate motion without propellant. So the way I generally think of rockets is you're in the back of a van and you're just throwing stuff out of the back of this van as quickly as you can and pushing off of it and moving forwards. It doesn't throw anything out the back of the van. And for months they were just establishing a baseline, being like, what's the space weather in this area? What's the ambient kind of thing? They turned it on at the start of October, and it has had some interesting results since. So its inclination and I can't remember the other elements of it, but they've started to change, and it looks like it's doing stuff. There are no other thrusters on that piece of technology. It is changing its position apparently without throwing stuff out the back of it. I mean, those kind of game-changing techs, that would be cool.
Sarah, that's a nice link into you with your propulsion systems. Over to you.
I will put in the plug that World Space Week this year is focused on living in space. I think once we have better space habitats, I think it will drive for a lot of new creativity, the exploration mindset as well. As in, when you think realistically, astronauts right now, they're not explorers. They are scientists whose workplace is in space. That's it. They go up there, they spend a couple of days. It's the same thing as if they were underwater in the submarines or some of these underwater stations. The sense of their main day job is being PR agents and basically just spokespeople. We've lost a bit of that exploration, that need to go further, that challenging the new frontiers and boundaries. And I think as we're seeing more of this development on the space habitats, either through Artemis or through some of the privately sponsored work, we're getting to unlock a bit of that spark again. You know, can we go further? Can we go beyond just, the station in Leo? Can we go into actually, living on the moon, living on Mars, whatever that may be, and actually have that as a possibility for people to consider, as a way to like, oh, this is a viable career path for me. I could be living on the moon, in 20, 30 years time, and actually just doing my day job there, seeing, can we explore more of the unknown, I think that's where we're really going forward. And I think that is the point of this year's theme, is to really bring back that spark of exploration and of ideation. And I think that's something I'm really looking forward to, because once we have more of that, more technology will be unlocked. We don't know about, these different zero gravity effects on everything, on human healthcare, on new materials, on everything else. Can we finally do fusion in space? Can we finally do the, was it room temperature superconductors through space? Maybe. So I think that's really the future, and for that we need the space habitats for it.
That's that was a great summary of the future. Mason, from your perspective, what tech turns you on?
Well, it's Sarah just kind of threw me up a slow pitch there, because like our ethos at Star Helix, is breathing life into space. And so that's what we're doing, is trying to find new novel technologies to basically go beyond Leo and go into the cosmos, but protect the human, or as I like to say, I protect the squishy bit in the system. But the two techs that we've actually been approached by interested parties, we just don't have the headspace for right now. So if there's anyone watching this who would like to get involved with these techs, we need some help. The first is the mycelia-based radiation protection, and we're starting to see some really cool early results, but this is really just a TRL2 level right now, so it needs some development on using synthetic melanin to produce radiation protection, and the mass that you would need is so small, and we have a way to stop it from growing, so we've already got that in house. The other one that just came across my desk recently that we're looking to kind of delve into, that really is kind of breaking my brain a little bit, but hey, I'm willing to go with it, is data crystals for in-orbit data centers. And apparently there's this newer technology where instead of using your memory boards or something, you can actually imprint on these data crystals that will last tens of thousands of years, if not indefinite, and store and transpose a bunch of data. And I think there's a university down in Southern England that's kind of pioneered this, but they've been looking for partners to spin it out. So we're exploring a little bit, but it sounds like this really fascinating technology that you can just use so much more data and take data so much further, and a lot of fun stuff with that. So those are a couple fun tech that we're like, if we only had the time and the money to do, then we'd love to get involved with.
So to summarize then, we've got quantum inertia, which we don't know quite how it works, but we think it's going to work, because that's the James advocacy. We've got Sarah with space habitats, that's a given. And then data crystals. My head just went all sloppy when you talked about that, just Mason. I'll come back to you when I've sat down in a darkened room. Kate, you and I are mere mortals in this audience here today. We just facilitate and get very, very bright people to talk and work with each other. What tech turns you on for the future?
Oh gosh. I can't think of anything directly off the top of my head, but I do know that what's to Sarah's point, it's the spark of the unknown. I think all of us as humans have always, since the dawn of time, have looked up at the stars and wondered what's up there and what can we be a part of it in some small way? Can we see it in a different perspective? So I still have that. I will always have that. But just a really funny side story. I first got Chat GPT about 5 months ago. I've never even used Chat GPT or any AI tool. And I remember feeling like it was when I got my first iPhone. I was like, wow, this is completely changing everything. So that's been the tech that's changed my life recently. I think everyone else is probably much more au fait with it than I am, probably at this point. But I find that the pace that technology is moving at is unreal. Like, I don't even know. I kind of have these visions. Where will I be 10 years from now? What will the world look like? So, and so I'm very, very privileged to work in this sector as I do, and to kind of see it from the inside out. So, and this has been very fascinating, guys. So articulate, each one of you. So just very grateful to be here. Thanks, Bruce, for inviting me.
I always feel a bit of a space frog when I talk to these people. It really doesn't I'm 3 millimeters thick of knowledge, about 55 feet wide, so it is always great fun. Sadly, though, we've come to the end of this hour. This has been one of those conversations which I've used an analogy. It's like 5 strangers meeting at Doha Airport and waiting to catch the next flight, and we're sitting there having in the inevitable Irish bar there is at Doha Airport, having a conversation. It's so organic, so creative, and terribly, terribly good fun. It just remains for me to say thank you all very, very much for coming along today. We'll get these out broadcast soon. The content for everybody's going to be available so they can chew it over and spit it out in whatever format or platform they want. But thank you very, very much indeed for taking part in this autumn edition of Liftoff. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Sarah.